Hello everyone, welcome back to this workshop. Let's wait for 1 to 2 minutes for the students to join. Hello Sagar, glad to see you. Hello Jaraj Roshan. Let's wait for 1 more minute, then we will continue the class. Okay, how many of you guys practiced the last session? How many of you reversed the video and practiced on your? Please raise your hands, let me know in the comment section. Did anybody have any doubts? You can ask your doubts in the comment section. Okay, I think everyone is clear about the last section. Let's just recap a bit. So in last session, we learned about the Java basic structure and the variables, how to print the console. Then we learned about the various data types, that is primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Then the size of the data types and the range of the data types, the difference between character and string, and different cases used in the industry levels, that is camel case, Pascal case, and snake case. And we started the operators, that is arithmetic operator, relational, logical, assignment, unary, ternary, and bitwise. Okay. So for today's session, let's create another package. So right click on Java with me, create new, and search for package. Yes. Name it as day2. In the day2 package, create a new file, a Java class. Name it as main or anything with the capital letter, first letter as capital. Okay. Let's add it. Okay. So write the boilerplate, that is public static void main, or in the short form is PSVM. Okay. So let's run it, check it is working or not. Hello, day two. Okay. So let's run it. Okay, perfect. Here is the output. That means our code is working. Then let me also create a README file for this today's session. Okay, file readme.md. MD stands for markdown file. Okay. So we are continuing the operator where we left. So let me just reuse it. Okay. Okay. Let me close these ones. Okay. So here is the day2 readme file and here is the day2 main. Perfect. We are ready to go. Okay. Let's remove this. Okay. So where we left? We left on the operators. Okay. So what are the operators? Let me start again. Operators are symbols that perform operations on variables and their values. Okay. Let me repeat it. Operators are symbols that perform operations on variable and values. So these all are the plus minus sign. These are called the symbols. They are the operators. They perform some specific operations on the operands. Okay. So what does arithmetic operator do? Arithmetic operator is an operator that performs basic mathematics operations. Like you can see, here is a plus operator, minus operator, multiplication, divide operator, and modulus operator. Okay, you might know this for from starting, but it might be for the modulus operator, maybe new for it. This modulus operator gives the remainder of a division. Okay, so let me show you. If I write, let me write integer num1 is equals to 10, then integer num2 is equals to 3. Okay, then I can write integer num3 is equals to num1 modulus num2. Okay, so this is num1 and this is num2. Okay, so let's print it as out num3 and let's see the output. Okay, so you can run like this. The output is 1. Why? Because if you divide 10 with 3, we get the remainder as 1. Okay, got it, guys? Type music. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Type music. Can I know your real name? Okay, so this comes the arithmetic operator. Let's take more example of arithmetic operators. Okay, I'm writing like this as out num1 plus num2. I am writing directly so that it will save us some time. Okay, and num1 minus num2 multiplied by num2 divided by num2 and again modulus. Okay, so let's run it. The shortcut is shift plus F10 to run it. Okay, okay, so here is the output. Num1 plus num2, it is 10 plus 3, 13, 10 minus 3, 7, 10 into 3, 30, 10 by 3 is 3, and it shows the remainder as 1. Okay, Amitabh Sawat. Hello, Amitabh Sawat. Okay, so this is all for the arithmetic operators. Then coming to the relational operator, all the relational operator compare two values. Okay, so when I say is num1 equals to num2. Okay, this is what we say in English. Okay, but the compiler doesn't understand it like this. So we have relational operators to compare between two values. Okay, so if you want to test if num1 is equals to num2 or not. Okay, so we should like this. Normally in mathematics we write as num1 equals to num2, but this is not clear here because a single equal to is an assignment operator. Okay, Amitabh Sabatmi. I don't get you what do you mean by me, Amitabh. Okay. Uh, so here in compare, we use double equals to. Okay. So a relational operator always return a Boolean value that is either true or false. Okay. So here we can say false, that is norm1 equals to norm2 is not true. Okay. So 10 is equals to 3 is not true, that is false. So it returns false. Okay. Then comes the logical operator. Okay. Logical operator performs the logical get operation. Okay, we can say that if both the conditions are true, then the AND operation returns true. Okay, so if I write Boolean A is equals to true, then Boolean B is equals to false. Okay, so now I am printing S out A and B. Then again I am printing A or B. It is called as logical and double ampersand, and the double pipe symbol is logical or. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, the first one printed false because A is true but B value is false. Okay, while using logical and both values must be true to return true. Okay, but while using logical or only single value can return true. Okay, either A or B is true, then the result will be true. Okay, if any of them is true like this, then the result are true. Okay, so see, A and B returned us true. Okay, but if both are false like this, let's run it. Then the first line compared A is false, so it did not check the second line, second operator, second operand, that is B. Okay, since A is false, there is no need to check for B in logical AND. Okay, since the result will be false anyhow. Okay, so that was all for relational operator. Sorry, logical operator. Let's come to assignment operator. Okay, so in assignment operator we have these operators. Okay, is equals to, plus equals to, minus is equals to. Okay, Neeraj Sharma, sir, is it compulsory to join StreamYard or can I continue this internship by YouTube? Yes, you can continue by YouTube. I don't think it is compulsory to join using StreamYard. Okay, you can sure join by YouTube. and it will be easier to join by YouTube, I think. Okay, so coming to the assignment operators, we have this assignment operators, that is equals to, plus equals to, minus is equals to, multiplication equals to, division equals to, and modulus equals to. Okay, so let me tell you what does it mean. Okay, let me write like this. Is equals to means assigning a value to a variable. Okay, normally we write variable is equals to value. Okay, it means assigning the right value to the left value. Okay, it means variable is being assigned the value of the given value. Okay, it means variable is being assigned by the value, that is the assignment operator. Okay, that is plus. Okay, so next comes the operator plus is equals to. Okay, so what does plus is equals to mean? If I write a plus is equals to b, it means that implies, or I like that implies by like this. It means a is equals to a plus b. Okay, did you get it? When I write a plus is equals to b, it is the shorthand form for a is equals to a plus b. Okay, you can say it as add a more b times. Okay, add the a more b times. Okay, so if I say a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 5, okay, then a plus is equals to b implies a is equals to a plus b, that implies a is equals to 10 plus 5 is equals to 15. Okay, did you get it, everyone? Please reply me in the comment section so that I get to know you get it or not. Amitabh, Neeraj, please reply me. Sagar, are you clear up to this? Hello. Okay, so then comes the, okay, let me just show you this. Okay, Sagar More, yes, let me show you. I showed above num1 is equals to 10. Okay, so let me write again num1 plus is equals to num2. Okay, so let me now print it as out num1. Okay, so let's run it. So I get the output as 13. Okay, previously the value of num1 was 10 and num2 was 3. I assign the num1 plus num2, that is num1 plus is equals to num2. Therefore, the value becomes 13. Okay, and the same goes for minus is equals to, multiplied equals to, division equal to, and modulus is equals to. Okay. Okay, very good. So now let's come to the unary operator. Okay, unary operator is kindly two types, that is plus plus and minus minus. And this plus and this minus, you normally know these are the only signs of numeric signs, that is plus 5 or minus 5, etc. Okay, so the important things are plus plus and minus minus. Okay, so plus plus and minus minus are called as increment and decrement operators. Okay, increment and decrement operators. Okay, so these are also two types, that is pre-increment and post-increment, and also pre-decrement and post-decrement. Okay, generally in pre-increment we write as plus plus a, and post-increment we write as a plus plus. Okay, in pre-decrement we write as minus minus a, and in post-decrement we write as a minus minus. Okay, so what is the difference? See, the difference is pre and post. Okay, while using the increment operator before the variable, it will increment before the use. Okay, so let me just show you practical operations. Okay, let me declare one more variable, int x is equals to 10. Okay, let me print it x. So we saw the value of x as 10, and let me just write here x plus plus. Okay, x plus plus, then we get the value as 11. Okay, x plus plus, x is incremented by 1. Okay, we should get 11. But the difference is, if I write x plus plus here instead of the upper line, let's see. See, we got the 10. Okay. It was initially 10 and after increment we also got the 10. Because why? Why? Because we have done the post increment. Okay. While doing the post increment, it will first use the value of x and then it will increment it. Okay. So if I write again system.out.println x, okay, then it will give me the output as 11. See here, when I write the first post increment, it first used the value of x and printed it, then it incremented the value of x, and when I printed the value of x again, it gave the result as 11. Okay. But on the other hand, let me declare one more variable y is equals to 20. In the other hand, when we use pre-increment, okay, plus plus x, when we use pre-increment s out x, let's see the output. See, sorry, not x, but y. That's why I declared y. Okay. See here, the value of y was initially 20, but when I pre-incremented the y, the value of y was initialized by 1 first. Then it was used by the system.out.println function. Okay. You can see here both the outputs are 21. Okay. But while using post increment, the value first is used, then incremented. Okay. Clear? And the same thing is for decrement also. Okay. Clear about it? Okay. So let's move to the bitwise operator. Bitwise operator. What is the bitwise operator? Now this is bitwise and bitwise or. This bitwise operator are performed on the binary levels of the numbers. Okay. So if I write 5 and 3. Okay. So what does this do? This perform the binary and operation on the numbers and give us the result. Okay. So what is the 101 and what is the binary code for 3? It is, what is this? 110 and 11. It is 0011 for 3. Okay. So when we perform AND operation, we know what? 0 and 0 gives us 0. 1 and 0 gives us 0. 0 and 1 gives us 0. 1 and 1 gives us 1. So the result is 1. Okay. So let's test it. Okay. Test it. System.out.println 5 and 3. Let's see the output. See, the output here is 1. Okay. Did everyone get it? How bitwise AND or works? Okay. Anyone, please reply me. Did you get it? How bitwise operator AND bitwise OR works? Okay. Okay. Very good. So let's move further. Now let's coming to the conditional statements. Okay. The next topic, conditional statements. Okay. Sagar More. Yes, sir. Very good, Sagar. Okay. So what are conditional statements? Conditionals are used to make decisions in the program. Okay. Conditionals are used to make decisions in the program. The condition statements only execute if the conditions are only true. Okay. So what are the types of condition statements? Now there is if statement, then there comes if else statement, then there is else if ladder, then there is nested if, and there is one more thing, that is switch case. Okay. So now about this. Okay. So what is if statement? If statement is a statement that contains a condition and it only executes if the condition is true. Okay. So let's see the boilerplate. If condition looks like this: if the condition within brackets, and if the condition is true, then the following codes will execute. Okay. Codes executes if condition is true. Okay. So now test it. Okay, let's test it practically. Okay, let's take an example. Int age is equals to 18. Okay, so I want the code to run if the age is only greater than 18. So I can write if age is greater than 18. Okay, here I am using what operator? And this is a relational operator. I told you earlier that relational operator gives us the Boolean values, that is either true or false. Okay, so in the conditional statements, we need either true or false. So if this age is greater than 18, then we can print s out you are eligible to vote. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so there is no output. Why there is no output? Because age is 18 and we define the condition as age is greater than 18. Is this condition true? No, because age is not greater than 18. Age is equal to 18. Shruti, good evening, sir. Good evening, Shruti. Why are you so late today? Okay, so let's continue. Age is greater than 18, but if I write if age is greater than is equals to 18, now let's run it. Okay, here you see you are eligible to vote. So you see if the condition is true, then only the following block works. Okay, if this condition is not true, then this should not work. Okay, then if what will happen if the condition is false? Okay, so we have also the case. So if the condition is false, then we have the else block to execute. Okay, we can write here system.out.println you are not eligible to vote. Okay, so now let's run it. You can see here you are eligible to vote, but if I change the age from 18 to 8, now let's rerun it. Now we can see you are not eligible to vote. Okay, so you can see if the condition is false, then the else block is executed. Okay, are you clear, guys? Okay, then comes the else if condition. Okay, so let me take the example of grades. Okay, not here, but here. Sorry, here. Okay, so let me define a grade. It is a character. No, it is a marks. Okay, because we define grade from marks. Na? Okay, so int marks is equals to 84. Let it be 84. Then we can try if mark is greater than or is equals to 90. Then what is the grade? S out A grade. Okay. Then else. What can you write? Else there was S out. Let us take as B grade. Okay. But we don't have only two grades, we have many more grades, and we can only comparing this with greater than is equal to night. I thought class would start at 6. Oh, sorry to say, Smriti, but the class started at 5:30. Don't worry, you can see the recorded class later. Now focus on this. Okay. So for one or more conditions, we can use the else if ladder. That's it. How can we write it? So write else if and again another condition. Okay. So mark greater than is equals to 80, then it is B grade. Then again else if mark greater than is equals to 70, then it is S out C grade. And if any of the above condition is not true, then we can write else. Okay, the else block will only execute if any of the above condition is not true. Okay, so else we can write S out failed. Okay, so not failed, but we can write as below. Okay, because below 70 doesn't mean fail. Okay, so we can run it. See, the control goes from the up to down. Okay, so I wrote that mark is equal to 84. When mark is greater than is equal to 90, it will print A grade, but it is not the condition, it is false. That's why it checks on the second condition. Okay, here mark is greater than is equal to 80. It is true. That's why it prints the B grade. Okay, since this condition is satisfied, these are skipped. Okay, these all blocks are skipped. But here's the twist. If I write mark greater than is equals to 80 first, then I write greater than is equals to 90. Okay, because greater than is equals to, no wait, this let me make this 94. Okay, so it should print as A grade. Let me make it B, and this should be A. Okay, so greater than 94 should print as A grade according to our condition. Okay, so let's run it. But we see B grade. Why? Because our control goes from up to down and top to bottom. Okay. So at the first condition, the compiler checks if mark is greater than is equal to 80. Yes, 94 is greater than is equal to 80. That's why it prints the B grade. And since this condition is satisfied, it skips all the other conditions. So this logic is failed. That's why I would write here 90 first, then 80. Okay. So this depends on logic. Okay. Now if we run it, it will show us A grade. Okay. So you can see here it is showing us A grade. Okay. So did you understand? Okay. So let's come to the nested if. Nested if, what does you mean by nested if? Nested if means if inside another if. Okay. So what is the structure? If condition. Then here is the code block. Okay. So we can write here another if. This is called nested if. That is, it is the outer if. This is outer if. Okay. This is outer if and this is the inner if. Okay. So we can use it to check for the largest numbers. Okay. Let me define three numbers. That is m, n, and p. Let me take m is equals to 1 and n is equals to 2 and p is equals to 3. Okay. So find the biggest number from here. Okay. So we can do how to do it. So we can check first m to compare with n and p. So let's check m greater than is equals to n and this logical and. Okay. And m greater than is equals to p. Okay. So what does this and do? If this condition is true and this condition is also true, then only this total condition will execute. It will execute or it will return true. Okay. Else we can write here the else part. Okay. So if this is true, then we can write s out m. Okay. Let me write in the string m is the largest. LARGEST. Okay. So if this is not the case, then we have two more conditions. Then we can again check if n greater than is equals to p, then we can write s out n is largest, else s out p is largest. Okay. Did you get the point? First, we checked here if m is greater than is equals to n, that is m is greater than n, or m is greater and n is greater than p. If m is greater than both n and p, then only this block return true. Okay, and we will get to see that m is the largest number. Okay, but if that's not the case, then we have two more cases. That is either n is greater than p or n is less than p. So we can check it again inside the if block. So here what do we do here? Now we check again inside the else block. We put another if block and check if n is greater than is equals to p, then n is largest. Otherwise, p is largest. Okay, this should be is okay. So let's run it and see. Okay, here we get as 3 is largest. Okay, so here it was 1, 2, and 3, and we got the output as 3 is largest. Okay, I hope everyone is clear about this. So let's continue to switch statement. Okay. So what does switch statement do? Switch statement is used when you have multiple conditions on a single variable. Okay. So if like this one, when I said mark is a variable and every condition is used on the mark variable. Okay. So instead of writing this, we can use it on the switch case. Okay. So writing the switch case, the boilerplate for switch. This is the boilerplate of switch, SWITCH switch, and this is the condition mark. Okay. So what is mark? This is mark and no, let's take it another example. Consider the days of a week. Okay. So let me take int day is equals to 2. Okay. Let it be day 2 and this is the variable day. Okay. So open the curly braces or the switch block. Okay. So in the switch cases, we have many cases. Okay. So like case 1, if case 1 means if the variable day matches this case 1. Okay. So in the switch case, we can only compare the numeric values or the characters, not a particular string. Okay. So if the matches day, it matches 1, then we can print it is a Sunday. Okay. And remember, after every cases, we should break. Otherwise, when the first case is true, each and every cases will be run automatically. I will show you later. Case 2, then S out, it is Monday. Then I can break. Then case 3, Look at the syntax carefully, guys. I am giving a colon after the case, okay? Not a semicolon, it is a colon, okay? G Santra, yes, sir, very good. Okay, so S out, this is Tuesday, okay? So now let's break. Okay, so what if the day is not does not matches any of the case, okay? So that's why you also have a default case that will run if any of the above cases is false, okay? So in the default case, we can write any other day, okay? So I have initialized day with 2. Let's run it. Okay, so it gave us the output as Monday. Okay, so let me show you if I remove the break statement, what will happen. Okay, let me just comment the break statement and run it again. You can see it here. See, when the case matched with the variable that is 2, it printed Monday. But after it printed Monday, every other cases are also triggered. That's why we need the break case. You can see it here after printing Monday, the compiler also printed Tuesday and any other day. That is the default case also. Okay. So we have to break after each cases. Otherwise, when one condition becomes true, every other condition should also trigger from them. Okay. So this was the conditions. Okay. So we have completed the conditional statements, that is if statement, if else statement, else if ladder, nested if, and switch case. Okay. So if anyone has any doubt, please tell me now. Otherwise, we'll move further towards the loops. Okay. I'm waiting for 1 minute. If anyone has any doubt, then you can ask me in the comment section. Okay. Everyone understand the conditional statements? Kindly reply me so that I get to know you are actually doing it with me. Neeraj Sharma, Jeet Santra, Sagar Maurya, Shruti, Amir Sawat. No doubt, sir. Very good. Okay, so let's move towards the loops. Okay, so what are loops in Java? Okay, loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. Okay, when a particular block of code is repeated multiple times, then we don't need to write it. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let's create another class for loops. This will become very messy. So let's name it loops. Okay, add it. Okay, this is loops and create the main method. Okay, this is the class for loops. Okay, so we have, okay, everyone says no doubt, very good. You guys are catching really quick. So there are three types of loop, but before then, let me tell you why does we need loop, okay? So if someone tell me to write from 1 to 10, okay, so I can write like this and copy this, then I can do this 3, 4, 5, 6, and dot dot dot. Likewise, I can write up to 10 and I can run it. Okay, so this outputs me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10. Okay, so this I can do this for 10 lines, 20 lines maybe. But what if someone tells us to do it as thousands lines? This is not possible to copy and paste about 1,000 lines of code. Okay, so that's why I use the loop. Okay, loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. Okay, what is a block of code? This can be a code. This all can be a code. Okay, a block of code can be a statement for a particular task. So okay, so now come to the types of loops. Okay, in Java we have three types of loops. So loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. Okay, so types of loops, we have three types of loops here, that is for loop, then while loop, then do while loop. Okay, so this for loop and while loop, they are entry control loops. Okay, and this do while loop, it is called as exit control loops. So what is entry control loop and what is exit control loops, we are going to learn here. So let me just remove it and let's try it with the for loop. Okay, so what is the syntax of for loop? So the syntax of for loop is for, then initialization, semicolon, then condition, then update. Okay, then the block of code. Okay, then closing. This is the syntax for for loop. Then for while loop, we have to initialize outside of the while loop. Okay, initialize, then while, inside while the condition. Okay, then we have the code, then we have the update. Okay, in for loop we update it inside here, but in while loop we have to update inside the body. Okay, then we have to close. Okay, so this is while loop, the boilerplate. Then do while, we can initialize outside, then we have to write as do, then the block, this is where the code is written, and also the update should be done here. Then after closing the block we have to write the condition. Okay, and here we have to put a semicolon. Okay, remember guys, in for loop and while loop we don't give semicolon at the end, but in do while loop we have to give the semicolon. Okay, so why it is these two are entry control and why do while is exit control? Now we can relate, because in for loop and while loop the condition is checked first before running the block of code entered inside the loop. Okay, that's why it is called as entry control loop. But here in do while loop the condition is checked after the code executes. So what is the difference then? The difference in using the do while loop, the code will execute at least once. Doesn't matter anywhere the condition is, the code will execute at least once. But in for and while loop, since it is entry control loop, the code may not execute at once. Okay, so let's look at example. Okay, let's print from 1 to 10 using for loop. Okay, so for initialization, let me initialize a variable as I and initialize with number 1. Okay, so this is the initialization, and let me take a condition, that is I less than is equals to 10. So this will be our condition, and the update statement will be I can write like this, plus is equals to 1, or I have one more operator, that is increment operator. I can write like this. Okay, so this is our for loop condition and updation. Then we have to write the block. In the block, we can write a system that out the println. Instead of 1 and 2, I can just simply write I here. Okay. So what is this I? This I represents the I here. Okay. So let me run it. Then I will explain you what happens. Okay. So as you can see here, the output is a number series from 1 to 10. So how does it work? So first we initialize the integer I with a value as 1. Okay. First we initialize, then the for loop checks the condition, that is I is less than is equal to 10 or not. So 1 is less than is equal to 10, condition satisfied, that is condition is true, then we can enter inside the for loop. And inside the for loop we have the code system dot out the println I. What is the value of I? The value of I is 1. So the console, in the console it is printed as 1. Okay, then after all the blocks are executed, then we have to update. Okay, so how are you updating? We are writing here I plus plus. I told you earlier I plus plus means incrementing the I by 1. Okay, so the I value becomes 2, and then again it checks the condition, that is 2 is less than is equals to 10 or not. Obviously 2 is less than is equals to 10. Then again it enters the for loop and it prints the I value, that is 2. Okay, so in the condition is I is less than is equals to 10, that's why it printed up to 10. Okay, the I value is incremented up to 10, and when the I value is 11, this condition is not satisfied, that is it became false and it did not print further. Okay, did you guys get it? Reply me. Did you guys get how for loop works? Sagar, Mansi? Okay, if you got it, then further towards the while loop. Okay, so this was the boilerplate code for loop, that is initialization, condition, and update. So we took an example as int I is equal to 1, it is the initialization. Then I less than equal to 10 is the condition, and I plus plus is the update statement. Okay, so everyone saying got it, very good. Okay, so let's move forward towards the while loop. Let me comment it. Okay. Okay, for while loop, we have the initialization first. Here, We have the initialization first, then inside the while loop we have condition, then the code block, and then the updation. Okay, so we can write like I can initialize another I variable, that is I is equals to 1 again. Okay, let's move from backward. Okay, so while we can do as I is greater than is equals to 1. Okay, so here I what did I do? I written the condition, I wrote the condition as I is less than is equals to 10, and here I am writing the opposite, that is I is greater than is equal to 1. That's because I want to print from 10 to 1. Okay, so while I is greater than is equals to 1, I want to print what? I want to print I. Okay, I want to print I. Then I have to do what? I have to do the updation. So how can I update? I can update as I plus plus, but if I do I plus plus, it will be an infinite loop. Okay. Sagar Moria, what if we use plus plus I in for loop? Yes, Sagar, you can use plus plus I. Both are increment operators. Okay. Since we are not using the value of I here in the for loop updation, any post increment or pre decrement will be fine. Okay. But if we are using the I value, then we have to increment, or first to increment, then we have to use, then we can consider between pre increment and post decrement. Since we are only updating the value of I and not using it in the particular statement, it doesn't matter if you use the post increment or pre increment. Did you get it, Sagar? Okay. So I will show you in the while loop why should you use post increment or pre increment here. Okay. Okay. Diptiman Sarkar. Okay. Very good. So in the while condition, I can write here I plus plus. Okay. So let's run it. And no, I should not run it because it will give me an infinite loop, because I wrote the condition as I is greater than is equals to 1. But my initialization value is I is only starting from 10. If I increment the value of I, then the value will only increase and this condition will be always true. So it will print I up to infinite. That will my hello guys, am I audible? I think my internet was disconnected. Am I audible? Hello? Can anyone reply me? Hello? Okay, I think I have connected up successfully. So here it is written that, sorry, we should write that instead of increment, we should write decrement. That's why we will get from 10 to 1. Okay, yes, sir. So all right. So this was all about while loop. Okay. So instead of writing I minus minus in one another line, we can directly write this as here I minus minus. Okay. So notice here I am using the post decrement. Okay, not pre decrement. Okay, let me first use the pre decrement here, then I will show you. Okay. Here is the pre-decrement operator, and you can see that my I is initialized with 10, but since I use the pre-decrement, it will first decrement the value of I to 9, then it will print the value as 9. Okay, but I want from 10 to 1, but it is printing from 9 to 0. Okay, so that's why we should go for here post decrement, that is I minus minus. Did you get it, Sagar? See, you can see it when I use I minus minus, I can see from 10 to 1. So instead of writing I minus minus in another line, I can use it directly in the println statement. Okay. Okay. So this is for the while loop. Let's move towards do while loop. Sagar Moria. Yes, very good, Sagar. Let's come to the do while loop. Let me take or initialize another variable as j and initialize it with a 18. Okay. You can initialize at any value you want. So we can write do. But so we need to do, we can print s out j. Okay, we are printing s out j, and the condition we are giving is file j is equals to 10. Okay, so don't forget the semicolon, and look at here carefully. Here the condition I have given is j is equals to 10, but I have initialized the j as 18. Okay, so the condition is false. It is clear that the condition is false. But if I run it, you can see that I am getting the output as 18. So that is the difference between entry control and exit control loop. Okay. So when we write as a do while loop, the code is executed first regardless of the condition. And after all the codes are executed, then the condition is checked. And if the condition is true, then the code is executed repeatedly. Okay. Did you get it, everyone? So that's how we completed the loops, that is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, everyone clear? Sagar, Jeet, Neeraj, Shruti, Diptiman, and Jeet, Rajesh Roshan. Are you clear, everyone? Okay, Sagar More, yes, sir. Okay, very good. So now let's move further toward the functions. Okay. So what are functions? Okay, Shruti. Okay, Shruti. So let's move towards functions. Okay, FUNCT awareness functions. So what are functions? Okay. So function is a method. Function is a method. Okay. Functions are methods are okay. Nested loops. Gopal, you want to see? Okay. So let's see the nested loops. Okay. In which loop do you want to see nested loop? Okay. Let me show you in the for loop. It will be easier. Okay. Since I have to initialize. If condition false, then it print the initial value. J Chandra. No, no. It doesn't print the initial value because the condition is false. Okay. It printed the initial value because in do while loop, the code is executed first. Then the condition is checked. Okay. If I write here j plus 1, see here, if I write j plus 1, I will get the output as 19. But the condition is always false because 18 equals to 10 will give us the output false. Okay. But if I write j greater than is equals to 10. Okay. And here uh, I I perform j minus minus. Okay. So see what happens. Here I get from 18. See here, let me expand it. You can see here 18 to 10. Okay. So what happened? It first the code executed, that is j minus minus. It printed j, that is 18, then minus minus, and check the value of j. While they here checking the value of j, it is comparing with 17 greater than or is equal to 10, because here in post decrement operator the value of j is already 17. Okay. So while checking this condition, the compiler is checking that 17 is greater than or is equal to 10 or not. Not 18 is greater than or equal to 10, but 17 is greater than or equal to 10. Okay. Did you get it, Jay Chatra? So if I write it as is equals to, then I will get the output as 18 only. Okay. So here is the output at 18 only, because then the condition is false and this will not run again. Okay. Did you get it, Jay Chandra? Did you get it? Should I move further to functions? Yes, sir. Very good. Okay. So function is a method, or function is a method. You can call it a method. When a function is declared inside a class, then it is called a method. But when a function is declared in outside of a class, it is called a normal function. Okay. So function is a method or a method. Let me start from a method because both are same things. Okay. A method is a block of code that performs a specific task. Okay. Then a function or method improves code reuse ability. Okay, ability. Okay, did you get it? So, what is function? Function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Okay, so if I tell you, uh, write me your name. Okay, so you have to do this system.out.println. Your name is suppose Rohan. You are doing this. Your name is Rohan, and you are running it. Okay, so what if I tell you write your name 10 times? Okay, you can do either, you can use the loop to do write your name 10 times, okay? But we have one more option, that is method, okay? It is recommended that if some block of codes are being used more than 3 times, then we should put it inside a function, okay? So how to do it? Let me write the boilerplate of a function, okay? Return type, I would come to return type, then method name or function name, then parameters, then the function block and the codes. Okay. And since we have the return type, we have to return a value of that particular return type. Okay. So this is the boilerplate for function. Okay. What are the return types then? The return types are nothing but the data types only. Okay. So the return types are is equals to data type of the return value. Okay. The value we want to return here, we need to assign the return type to the method or to the function. Okay. So what are the data types then? Return type, it can be integer, it can be string, or it can be boolean. Okay. This can be value. Or if you don't want to return anything, then we can also return void. If we don't want to return anything, we can return void. Void means nothing. Okay. Okay, everyone is catching. So let's move further and come to the practical implementation. Okay, as I told you to write your name, so you have to write like system.out.println inside your name, Rohan. But let's assume you have told to do some more tasks. Okay, so here are some more tasks, that is 100 and 200 lines of code, or let it be 50 lines of code. Okay, so if you have to do it more and more times, so it is not good to write them one by one. Okay, so that's why you use function. So what? How to declare a function? We just learned that to declare a function, let's come out of the main function, that is public static void main. We should not declare another function inside a function. So let's where does it end? Here it ends. Okay, here it ends. Okay, let's declare another function, that is void. Okay, so void and method name. Let's name the method as print my, okay, not like this, print my name. We discussed, we use camel case while writing the method's name. Okay, so print my name, there is no parameter. We will discuss what are the parameters. Okay, so void my name is out, so my name is Rohan. Okay, so now for now let's make it static, otherwise we require objects. Okay, and what is objects we run in tomorrow section. In oops concept we will learn objects. Okay, so for now let's make it static, and also I will tell you tomorrow what does a static keyword mean. So for now, just get to know that using the static keyword, we can directly use the method inside the class without creating the object. Okay, so this is how we declare a function or declare a method. And to call a method, we simply have to call the name. Okay, print my name and with parenthesis with a semicolon. Okay, this is how we declare a function, and this is how we call a function. Okay, so this static is a keyword that makes this function access without objects, and we can access it with the class name. But since you are using with the same class, then we don't need the class name. We can directly call it here. Otherwise, if you are using it another classes, we have to write like loops.printMyName. But since we are using in the same class, we don't need to write the class name. Okay, that's why I wrote static here. Okay, so what is void? Void is the return type, that is I am not returning anything. Okay, and print my name is the method name. This constructor or this parenthesis tells that it is a function, and it is the function body, that is I have written here system.out.println, the name is Rohan. Okay, so when I call this function, the function body, everything, every code in the body executes. Okay, let me run it, and you can see that Rohan is called 2 times. That's because once I write system.out.println outside the function, then I'm calling again through the function print my name. It is calling the system.out.println to print Rohan. Okay, so if I want to call again, I can call the function again and again. Instead of writing the whole code, I can call the function again and again. Did you get it? Okay. So now if I want to change my name, okay, I can use a parameter. So how to use the parameter? To use the parameter, we have to define which type of parameter do we want. That is, let me take a string type parameter. and let it name as name. Okay, so I need a parameter that is name, and I can simply print it. Okay, I am taking a name parameter that is applying string from the uh, function or method, and I am using the name to print it inside the function. Okay, so see, you can see here is showing us the error because we have not assigned a value to the parameter. Okay, so if I name my name is Lucky, then my name is Sagar, then we can write here my name is Neeraj. Then two more names. My name is Arman. Then my name is Jeet. Okay. So these are the names. Now if I run it, I should get their names. Okay. So we write here system.out.println name. This name refers to the parameter, and the value of this parameter comes when we call the function. Okay. We should pass the value of the parameter while coming to the function. We can also write it like name is equals to Lucky. Okay, this name and this name should be same, or else I can type it as a comma int age. Okay, and name, then concatenation age years old. Okay, so now it shows me a error again. So I have to give an age 20. Let's say here 18. Then here, let's say 60. Sorry, Neeraj, for 60. Okay, then let's 25. And let's Jeet. Jeet is our child, so Jeet's age is 5. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, Java cannot find symbol variable name. Okay, so name, it is not finding name, so let's remove it. I think we should write also age is equals to 20. Then no, it is not recognized, so let's remove it. Okay, so it is by default showing us the parameter name here, so we don't have to write it explicitly. Okay, so now if you run it, it should give us the output. Okay, here is the output. Lucky is 20 years old, Sai is 18 years old, Neeraj is 60 years old, Arman 25, and Jeet is 5 years old. Okay, so that's how we can perform operations with the using functions. Okay, so there is one more thing. What is that? That is the return type. Okay, I told you we have to return a value when we assign the return type. But since we assign the void here, we don't have to return anything. Okay. Okay. So if I write here static integer, okay, then see it shows the red line here, and when we see the error, it is saying us that missing return statement at line 32. Missing return statement at line 32. Why? Because we have not written anything of type integer. Okay. So how to return? We have to return using the return keyword. Okay. So can we return anything? Let's try it. Let me return hello. Okay. So now it is giving us error that incompatible types found. Java.lang.string but required is integer. That's why, because we have assigned the return type as integer, but we are returning a string value. Okay. So if we assign an integer, then we should return an integer. Then I am returning the integer. Then let's run it. Okay. So it is the same as before. What's the change? The change is that the function or method is returning the integer 0, but we are not storing it anywhere. Okay. So let me store it. Int value is equals to print my name. Okay. So then I can print the value s out value. Okay. So now I can see the value is 0. Okay. Where did the value 0? We are returning from the method. We are storing it in the value. Okay. Then we are printing the value. That's why we get the value as 0 at the end. Okay. Everybody clear about this? If I write is a string, static string, then I have to return a string. Let me return hello world. And instead of integer value, okay, we don't have to store it. We can directly print it here. Okay. We can directly print it here. S out, print my name, then at last semicolon. Then this is of no use anymore. Okay. So now we can run it. And we can say this is comes hello world after Lucky is 20 years old. So what does it do? After calling system.out.println, this function calls another function of a name print my name. So this function executes by running the code system.out.println. So that's why we get the outputs as Lucky is 20 years old. Then this return statement is this returns hello world, and this hello world is printed by this println function. So that's why you get hello world, and we have not printed anything else, just calling the function. That's why we get all this. So name is 8 years old. Okay. So that is the function till now. Are everyone clear about this? Hello? Everyone clear about this? Okay, so let's continue to one last chapter of today's session. That is recursion. Okay. So what is recursion? When a function calls itself, okay, then it is known as recursion. Okay. When a function calls itself, then it is known as recursion. So what does this mean? I have created a function here, print my name. So instead, I have printed the name is Ager Soul. What if I just write print my name and call this inside its own function and use a name hi, then age is 5. Okay. So what will it do? Now this print my name function will print this one. Then again it will call itself. Okay. Then what does this function do? This will print this and again it will call itself. So it will be an infinite loop. Jit Santra, why printing the hello world? Okay. Jit Santra, it is printing the hello world because here I have return type string and that's why I have returned a string here that is hello world. Okay. So while the function is called print my name and I have given the parameter, then the function body is called, the code is executed, and the first line system.out.println name is 8 years old and the name is Lucky, the age is 20 years old. So this is called Lucky is 20 years old. Okay. And that after that, let me comment it. After that, it returned hello world. Okay. So after it returned hello world, this particular thing converts into hello world. And we have hello world now. We have hello world inside the system.out.println. So this line becomes like this. Okay. This line becomes hello world. As the function returns the string hello world, no matter what, the function will return hello world. So this will be replaced by hello world after performing all the operations inside its block. That is why it is printing hello world. Okay. If I remove the println block and print only and call the function only, then it will only show the name is ages fold and it will not print anything. Okay. Since I have returned the string as a hello world and I have printed it, that's why it is printing hello world. Okay, you got it, Santra. Very good. Okay, so here was I. Okay, we are using the recursion part. Okay. When a function calls itself, it is called as recursion. Here, the print my name function calls itself again. I told you while calling the function, we write the function name with parenthesis and semicolon. And while declaring, this is the way to declare it. Okay. So let me just run it to show what happens. So you can see it gave us the error and there is an infinite loop. And this you can see the scroll bar. This is very top. Okay, let me go to first. Uh, I want to show you the first output. Okay, it is still on the very okay. You can see here Lucky is 20 years old. Okay. After that, it is only printing hi is 5 years old everywhere because I have given the parameter as hi and 5. And after each function call, it is calling itself again and again. Okay. So how we can do it? We can do it as we need a base condition to call the function. Okay. So let me write again. I am reducing the age as age is equals to age minus 5. Okay. I have decreased the age as 5. Now I can put a condition if age is greater than 15. Okay, greater than is equals to 15 or let's say 10, then print my name. Okay. And look here, students, if there is a single line code after the if statement, then we don't have to put the curly braces. We can directly write like here. Okay. If we have multiple statements or more than one statement, then we have to put it inside the curly braces. Okay. So it will return the hello world. So let us write and run again. So you can see it here. Okay, let me just go with one example, comment it out. Uh, okay, let's comment the return statements and comment all of this. Let's consider the last example and make it 25. Okay, so let's consider one example. Okay, so it showed that Jit is 25 years old. Okay, let's remove the high part. Where does I? This is not high. This should be the same name and age. Okay, because we are using the same name and the age is decreasing by 5. Okay, so you can see it here. At first, it is printed as Jit is 25 years old. That is, we call it here Jit and 25. Then we reduce the age 5 and check the condition if age is greater than is equal to 20. Yes, age is 20 years old and it is greater than equal to 10. Then it called the function itself again. And after calling, it printed as Jit is 20 years old because now the age value is 10. And again, it is calling itself. So the age is reducing by 5 every time. And when the age is 10 and this condition fails, we can see it here. This condition here, age is greater than or is equal to 10. This condition fails when the age becomes 5 and it does not call itself anymore. So that's how we use the recursion. Okay. So by using recursion, we can do various tasks like you find the factorial of any number or find the summation of first n natural numbers and many more things. Okay, so this was all for today's session. Let me summarize what did we learn today. Okay, then if anyone has any doubts, then you can ask me. Okay. So in today's session, we learned about different types of operators, arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment, unary, ternary, and bitwise. Then with the example, we learned the pre-increment, post-increment, pre-decrement, and post-decrement operator. Then we went through the conditional statements, that is if statement, if else statement, else if ladder, nested if, and switch case. Then we use the loops, that is three types of loop, for loop and while loop, do while loops. And we learned about entry control loops and exit control loops. Then we learned about methods, that is parameterized methods, non-parameterized methods, and methods with return types, method with return type as void and recursion. Okay. So this was today's session. If anyone has any doubts, kindly tell me now. And I'm giving you 5 minutes to go through the session one more time. And if you have any doubts, just ask me. Else we will start the session again tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Gopal 123, could you explain nested loop, how the row wise and column wise work in looping? Okay, very good question. Let me just tell you. Okay, so here Gopal asked us for nested loops. Okay, let me write. Okay, let me create one more file for nested loops. Java class nested loops. Okay. So here we have nested loops. Okay. For I am using the for loop. Okay. So for let me take int I is equals to 1. Then suppose I is less than is equals to 5 and I am incrementing I by 1. Okay. What is the error? Oh, sorry, I have not written the main method here. That's why it is showing us the error. So it should be inside the main method. Okay. Uh, okay. So now it's fine. The error is gone. Now nested loop. Okay. So we have one more loop inside, not the caps on. For int j is equals to 1, then j less than is equals to 5, then j plus plus. Okay, let's print here system.out.println I value and j value. Okay, so I have a concatenated space for differentiating I and j. So let's print it. Okay, so you can see here, this is how the inner loop and outer loop works. Okay, so at first we get 1 1 because Gopal, this is for you. I expect you to learn. Okay, so int I is equal to 1, then I less than equal to 5, the condition is true. Then the outer for loop executes its inner code, that is the inner for loop. And since the I value is 1, we enter the inner for loop. And in the inner for loop, we have initialized the j is equals to 1 and checking the condition j less than is equals to 5. Okay, this condition is true, j is less than equal to 5. So this statement is executed. So we get to print the value of I and j, that is I value is 1 and j value is 1. Okay, so then j value is incremented in for loop. After every code executes, the value is updated, that is j plus plus. Then j value is incremented by 1, that is j value is 2. The condition is checked, then j is 2, then 2 is less than is equal to 5 and the condition is true. That's why it is printed as 1 and 2. The value of 1 I is 1 and the value of j is 2. Okay, did you get it? Likewise, for 3, 4, and 5, this file is executed. Okay, that's why we get as 1, 1, 2, 1, 5. Okay, but when the value of j is 6, this condition becomes false. Okay, this condition becomes false, so this loop doesn't execute anymore. So what happens then? For this loop, the execution is over, but for this outer loop, the execution is for I is equal to 1. Then the I value increases by 1 and becomes I is equal to 2. Okay, I is equal to 2 and the 2 is less than is equal to 5 condition true, then the inner loop starts again and again. Okay, so the inner loop again starts for I is equal to 2 and the same thing happens, that is j is equals to 1 to 5, we get as 1 to 2 1 to 2 5. Okay, so likewise this, the inner loop goes from 1 to 5 for each outer loop I 1 to 5. Okay, that's how you get the outputs as 1 1 to 1 5, 2 1 to 2 5, 3 1 to 3 5, likewise 4 1 to 5 1 to 5 5. Okay, so in the outer loop we consider is at row loop, and in the inner loop we consider it as column loop. Okay, so considering it as a matrix, you can see here the row and column, that is 1 1 position first row and first column, 1 2 position first row and second column, 1 3 is first row and third column, 2 4 is second row and fourth column, likewise this. Okay, I think you guys get it. Gopal, can I get a reply? Did you get it or not? Sandhya Rani, yes sir, very good. Gopal, did you get it? Okay, if do anyone have any other doubt? Sandhya Rani, no sir. Okay, let me explain once more. So Gopal, okay, Gopal get it, Jit get it. Sandhya Rani, should I explain it one more for you or you will watch it again the video? Because I'm running out of time actually. The time was for 6:30 and it is already 6:42. Okay, does anyone have any other doubts? Okay, anyone who did not understand this, I will teach it tomorrow again. And for any other doubts, do anyone have any other doubts, or should we shut down the session for today? No, sir, I will watch this later. Okay, Sandhyani, you can watch this later. And if you still don't get it, you can ask me tomorrow and I will explain again tomorrow. And everyone, please come tomorrow tomorrow at sharp 5:30 p.m. We will start at 5:30 p.m. without being late. So no doubt, sir. Okay. So thank you, class. Thank you for the session. Thank you for the interaction. We are closing for today. See you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Okay. Thank you.